An emergency alert urged drivers to stay off highways Friday, as a fierce winter storm reduced visibility to near zero in many areas and led to crashes, including pileups, in southern Manitoba. At least 50 to 60 collisions had been reported on southern Manitoba highways by Friday afternoon, according to RCMP, and dozens of highways were closed, including the Trans-Canada from Winnipeg to Brandon, which was closed for most of the day Friday but reopened by about 5:30 p.m. The Southern Health Regional Health Authority declared a code orange at Bethesda Regional Health Center in Steinbach and St. Anne Hospital Friday morning, after a multi-vehicle crash near St. Anne, about 45 kilometers southeast of Winnipeg, a shared health spokesperson said. A code orange is called when a hospital needs to prepare for a potential sudden influx of patients. Health Sciences Center in Winnipeg also issued a code orange alert, warning that a code orange may be called shortly before 11 a.m. in response to several multi-vehicle collisions outside the city, the spokesperson said. The province of Manitoba issued a news release and also sent an alert via phones just after noon, advising drivers to avoid travel on any southern Manitoba roadways amid worsening conditions. It was the first time a dangerous road conditions alert had been sent by Manitoba's Emergency Management Organization, a provincial spokesperson said. This emergency alert was sent to people in Manitoba shortly after noon on Friday, warning drivers to stay off southern Manitoba highways. Priority on the roadways needs to be given to emergency vehicles, the province said in its news release, also warning that it is illegal to travel on closed roads. A truck was wedged between two semis after a pileup on Fermor Avenue, east of Lagimodiere Boulevard, on Friday. Paramedics pulled the driver out of the truck. "She is lucky to be alive," said her husband, Chris Parks. The province said for the safety of plow drivers and other motorists, it was pausing snow clearing operations on roadways where visibility was reduced. The roads will be salted or sanded once winds die down, said Tara Lisk, Manitoba's executive director of Highway Regional Operations, but it's ultimately the RCMP that will have to reopen the highways. The city of Winnipeg, meanwhile, said it would begin plowing streets and sidewalks at 7 p.m. Friday, based on its street clearing priority system. The highway closures, which stretched throughout southern Manitoba, included the entire perimeter highway in Winnipeg, which was shut down by 10:30 a.m. Winnipeg police said dozens of vehicles were involved in collisions, including a pileup on Fermor Avenue east of Lagimodiere Boulevard. About 20 vehicles were involved, and one person was taken to hospital in unstable condition, police said. Menager said RCMP believed the driver crashed with another car and got out of her vehicle and was then hit by another vehicle. "It's not something we see too often," he said, but reminded drivers to stay inside their vehicles and wait for emergency responders after a crash. Chris Parks said his wife was in one of the vehicles involved in the pileup. She was on her way to work when her pickup truck was hit from behind and got wedged between two semis. "It was total whiteout," Parks said from the scene of the crash, where he went to pick up his wife after she called him. "She was checked by paramedics and released," he said. Firefighters from Roland responded to another pileup crash involving 6 vehicles near highways 23 and 3, about 80 kilometers southwest of Winnipeg. And to the east, Daniel Boonstra said it took him about 2 hours to make a roughly 100-kilometer drive from Winnipeg to Whitemouth. A lot of vehicles in the ditch. Just east of Dugald, there's a car accident just before the railway tracks. I had to take the back roads to get around it, he said. In the city, the visibility is good, but once you get out to the open, it's absolutely brutal. Highways are gradually reopening across southern Manitoba after a blizzard brought whiteout conditions, dangerous wind gusts, and numerous multi-vehicle collisions to the region. Major highways reopening in the region include the Perimeter Highway and Highway 1 from Deacon's Corner to Haddishville. However, the Trans-Canada remains closed as of 5 p.m. from Brandon to Winnipeg, and from Winnipeg to Deacon's Corner due to a serious collision. Images on social media show chaotic scenes on major routes, with pileups involving anywhere from a handful of vehicles to dozens. Manitoba RCMP reported that over 30 collisions were recorded on highways in southern Manitoba during the storm. There is still no word on injuries or fatalities. Wind gusts topped 100 kilometers per hour in areas like Portage-la Prairie and Winnipeg, creating near-zero visibility and prompting widespread road closures. At 12:40 p.m., the province issued a release asking motorists to avoid highways, citing hazardous conditions and the strain on emergency response teams. Blizzard warnings continued across a wide swath of southern Manitoba on Friday afternoon as dangerous driving conditions persisted throughout the region. Bursts of snow combined with high wind gusts made driving nearly impossible at times through the day, especially across the Winnipeg area. While Winnipeg proper is no longer included in the blizzard warning, much of southern Manitoba will remain at risk for powerful wind gusts and blowing snow, which may cause travel conditions to deteriorate. Remain alert for rapidly changing road conditions through the afternoon before conditions ease later today. Prepare for quickly changing and deteriorating travel conditions, Environment and Climate Change Canada, ECCC, said in its blizzard warning for the region. The agency added, "Protect yourself from wind, cold, and disorientation by staying sheltered, indoors, or with your vehicle. If you become stranded in a vehicle, do not leave." A cold front screaming across the prairies will kick up gusty winds and bursts of snow as it treks through the region into the day Friday. Travel will remain difficult to nearly impossible at times across southern Manitoba on Friday, as the combination of high winds and heavy snow will reduce visibility to nearly zero at times. Widespread wind gusts of 60 to 70 kilometers per hour are expected across the region, with gusts potentially reaching as high as 100 kilometers per hour downwind from Lake Winnipeg and Lake Winnipegosis. This is more of a visibility hazard than an accumulation hazard for the affected areas. While several centimeters of snow will fall around the city proper, a swath of 10 to 20 centimeters of snow is in the forecast farther north toward the Interlake region. Beware slick travel along the Trans-Canada and Yellowhead highways. Travel is expected to be hazardous due to reduced visibility, ECCC warns. Cold temperatures that will rival some of the coldest of the season will then move in for the weekend, as Arctic air plunges south and spreads east across the region. Severe and dangerously cold conditions are expected, with temperatures as much as 10 to 20 degrees Celsius colder than seasonal through early next week. Much milder Pacific air will spread east at times during the final days of January, but reinforcing shots of Arctic air will keep the milder periods brief.